Hello and welcome to a special programme on the sporting development of curling. I'm Sybaris Ali.
And I'm Jonathan Rafferty.
Over the last few years, a new breed of Scotland's finest curlers have come through the ranks, all the way to winning medals at the European and World Championships, and of course the Winter Olympic Games, which were held in Sochi last year.
This new generation of curlers have taken over the success which Rona Martin had back in 2002, where she and her team won gold at the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. Now, fast forward 13 years, we have the likes of Eve Muirhead, Anna Sloan, Kyle Smith and David Murdoch all representing the country in the biggest curling events around the world.
And the development of this sport in recent times has helped the likes of Muirhead, as she and her team recently won silver at the European Curling Championships in Denmark only last week. Now on to today's show, and we will look at the many different aspects of curling and how certain areas of the sport involve the development of future curlers. Those aspects are the social cultural, the physical environmental, the political and finally the economic areas of the sport.
And first of all, we will start by looking at the socio-cultural aspect of the sport here in South Ayrshire. Curling is a sport that does not receive much coverage here in Scotland. This is despite the fact that people in the country are highly successful curlers. Here at Ayr Curling Club, people of all ages are able to come, learn and most importantly enjoy the game of curling. I spoke with coach Robert Boyd to assess just what his club can provide for the general public.
Well, the main benefits are it's a very social game. Nobody's called by their second name, everybody's called by their first names, whether they're a judge or a lawyer or anything. Good lot of exercise, you can raise your heart rate quite a lot, sweeping. Well, as coaches, our main job really is to introduce schools and primary schools and secondary schools into the sport. The oldest people we'll have in the ice rink curling will be 90, 88, 90. When people get older and can't get down to do the sliding technique, we have a stick and they can curl with the stick standing up. Therefore, we also have disability. Last Thursday we had a disability day where we'll have wheelchair curling and lots of other disabilities, partially sighted, deaf, and they're all able to curl.
That was Robert Boyd there, and we'll be hearing from him later on in the show, discuss his points on the social cultural aspect of curling. So Jonathan, Robert mentioned there about school children and getting them involved, so how important is that?
It is very important, Sybaris. First of all, I know it's cliche, but children are the future. We need to get them involved in sport. You know, Scotland doesn't have enough top athletes.
So after that, we had a look at South Ayrshire Council, and strangely enough, it has something on sports development, but it doesn't have anything on curling. Does that worry you, Jonathan?
It does a bit. First of all, obviously, you know, Scotland were notoriously good at curling. You know, it's worried that looking at that, it looks as if they don't really care. But they do have a sports development programme called Learn 2, but they do not have anything for curling for the sport itself, which is...
Robert also in an interview talked about the disabled and how important is it to cater for all?
It is extremely important because, you know, you can't just focus on one specific person. You know, we need to save it for both the young, the old, disabled. You know, curling is a sport that provides equipment for disabled as well and for older people. So it is extremely important that we get everyone involved.
Now, briefly, we're going to have a 20-question quick-fire round with Kris Boyd. One word, one line, whatever you want to say. So we'll start off with Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Strachan or Walter Smith?
Two totally different managers with different strategies. You know, Gordon's on the pitch. Walter probably was on the pitch when he was younger. But Walter as a manager, you know, I've had plenty of successful periods with Walter, so I'd have to say Walter.
Okay. Craig Levein or George Burley?
Craig Levein.
Right. PS4 or Xbox One?
PS4.
Action or comedy?
Comedy.
Game of Thrones or Walking Dead?
None of them. Never seen any.
Simpsons or Family Guy?
Simpsons.
Strictly or X Factor?
X Factor.
Biffy Clyro or Franz Ferdinand?
Biffy Clyro.
Concert or festival?
Concert.
Salt and sauce or salt and vinegar?
Salt and vinegar.
Darts or snooker?
I can watch both of them, but I think darts is more entertainment.
Alright, live in Glasgow or Kilmarnock?
None of them in there. But I think I've always been one. I don't think if you play for Rangers Celtic you can live in the city. You don't get a minute's peace, so I think you need to take yourself out of it. So if that's one of them, I'd say Kilmarnock.
Or live in another one, sorry, Middlesbrough or Portland.
Portland.
Match of the day or sports scene?
I would have to say sports scene because 9 times out of 10 I've seen the goals before it gets to match of the day.
Would you rather score the winner at Celtic Park for Rangers in a title decider, or a winner for Kilmarnock in the Scottish Cup final against Ayr?
Yeah. It's a difficult one, to be honest. I think both would hold, a special place if you had to do them. But I think probably for Rangers.
Oh, okay. Chris Sutton or Michael Stewart?
Better be careful what I say. It doesn't matter whatever I say. Chris will find a way to argue with me anyway. I'll go Chris.
Oh, okay. Joey Barton or Scott Brown?
Scott Brown.
Moussa Dembele or Lee Griffiths?
Moussa Dembele.
And finally, blue or green?
Blue all day.
Thanks very much, Chris.
No problem.
Now I'm delighted to say that we've been joined in the studio by Tom Andrews, who is a lecturer at the SRUC, which is based at the Ayr campus. But he also happens to be the Ayr Curling Club president. Tom, thanks for joining us.
So, first of all, Tom, are you meeting the right criteria in terms of government funding?
Obviously, I'm going to say yes, but we don't actually receive funding directly from the government. It is more through lottery funding, and with the Royal Caledonian Curling Club being the mother organisation, they set objectives that for Ayr Curling Club, so that we can then meet these objectives, and if we meet the objectives, we then get funding associated with that.
Interestingly, the RCCC has recently come out with a new strategy and policy from 2015 to 2019. What are your thoughts on that?
I think there's the whole strategy linked to trying to increase participation, but linked into that is also increasing quality of elite athletes at the highest level. I think the two of them actually conflict.
So, are there currently any politics in the sport which mix to create a kind of good or bad atmosphere in Scotland?
There's always politics in sport. There's always politics, particularly when there's funding involved. Whether you think the correct people or the correct process to select the elite athletes, whether that's the correct policy or not. I know.
Thank you very much, Tom. As mentioned, here is the part 2 of the Robert Boyd interview, where he spoke about the economic scenario here at Ayr Curling Club and the sport itself.
Well, we have no government funding. The club here is owned by the curlers. The main governing body, they receive lottery funding from Sport Scotland. We put a new floor in here, and this floor cost 250,000 to put this new floor in, and Sport Scotland gave us 125,000 towards that new floor. So that enabled us to do that. But on an everyday basis, and on a yearly basis, we don't have funding.
This club has excellent facilities, using professional stones made from the Ailsa Craig, the location where the stones are made for the whole of Europe. It's clear to see that the club provides a welcoming, friendly environment to all. Clubs such as this provide youngsters with the platform to enhance their skills, and who knows, perhaps someone from this club could be Scotland's next top athlete, although some of us need more practice.
That was Robert Boyd's second part there to the interview. How do Ayr Curling Club stay stable?
Well, we have got 50 clubs that play out of Ayr Ice Rink, which comes under the umbrella of Ayr Curling Club. We've got just under 700 members. The 700 members would need to pay a membership each year. So rough figures say £50 membership, and then you've 700 members, that's £35,000. So we're sort of trying to be self-funding. We also have fundraising events, for example, our Burn Supper.
Would you like to see more done to help promote curling, in terms of advertising?
Yes, I think advertising and trying to get, for example, the Scottish Championships on mainstream television. We always get it sort of BBC 2 at 11 o'clock at night, sponsored by Funeral Care or something like that. We need to be more proactive.
Curling received more than £8 million of funding from the National Lottery, but UK Sport totalled £7 billion for National Lottery funding. So would you like to see more money put into that?
The problem we have, because we don't compete at Olympic level as Scotland, we compete as Great Britain, and we also have to have English and Welsh and Irish curlers as well. And so whilst we would always want more funding coming into the sport, UK Sport and the National Lottery have got to make sure that the grassroots level in England and Wales and Ireland is actually being funded as well.
Just a final point then, Tom. Do you see the future of curling?
The future is very bright. I think we've got lots of good young curlers coming through. We achieved a bronze medal at the Olympics with the ladies. We've achieved silver medal with the men's. We need to continue doing that. I was lucky enough to be out in Sochi and didn't realise the hype that was surrounded it until...
Thanks, Craig. Now I'm delighted to say we've been joined by BBC Sports Scotland broadcaster Rob MacLean to discuss this Sunday's League Cup final between Aberdeen and Celtic. So, lads, big game, obviously, Sunday. Do you see Aberdeen causing an upset, Rob?
I think it's possible, yeah. I think it's their big chance this season to beat Celtic. They're not going to beat Celtic over the course of the season. They've lost twice already. They're 10 points behind in the league. Celtic have a game in hand. It is mission impossible for them. They're neither the bottom nor the top of the league at the moment. So, but on a one-off, they're capable of beating Celtic. If they can bring their A game to Hampden, Kris, on Sunday, would you agree that Aberdeen are
I think
capable?
it'll be interesting to see how the injury situation from Celtic last night as well, with Scott Sinclair going off at half time. He's been a big focal point of everything that Celtic's tried to do this season.
But sorry, would you say that's a game changer, that him being injured?
I would. I feel as if that it would give Aberdeen more of an opportunity. There's one thing about Derek, as he sets his teams up, to defend first and foremost, but they've got pace with McGinn, they've got pace with Hayes, and with Rooney through the middle, you're always got an opportunity of scoring goals. I think Aberdeen, I'll agree with Rob. I think this is the best opportunity to get silverware. Celtic off the back of, a lot of them would have covered a lot of miles last night. I still can't see Celtic getting beat, but I would agree that Aberdeen's best chance will be Sunday if they can keep it as tight as they possibly can. As I said, with the forward players they've got, they will have an opportunity to score goals.
Where do you see Celtic's vulnerability then at the back?
I think Celtic's vulnerability could come from the way they play in terms of the full-backs look to get forward, and I think Aberdeen will look at that as a space where they can punish. I think the wingers from Aberdeen will look to try and get in behind, Lustig and Ezagiri. But it'll be interesting to see what Brendan Rodgers actually did. I know he went to the 4 last night, but he's been playing 3, so he's got the option of the 3-5-2, or does he keep the 4-3-3? We'll need to wait and see.
Yeah, I think Celtic are much more secure defensively now, I think, than they were. Yep. Maybe Simunovic and Zviatchenko is the way to go for them. Toure, although he's been injured, might have been elbowed out of the equation for them. So they're a lot more secure than they were. And I think the biggest problem for Aberdeen is that this is Brendan Rodgers, who's transformed Celtic, and it's his first chance of silverware, and he won't want to miss out at the first opportunity. So I think Aberdeen have to be at their best. If Celtic are at their best, then it's got to be Celtic.
How does Derek McInnes then go about lining up against Celtic? Does he go really conservative, or does he go, look, lads, let's just go all out here?
I think Derek, there's been similarities, Drew, between Derek and Walter over the years. The way he sets his teams out. In terms of that they're hard to break down. You only need to go back to the Rangers game at Pittodrie, where Rangers totally dominated the ball without really looking, like scoring. They got in, down the wide areas a couple of times, but Derek has got a couple of big centre halves. He'll clear the ball away. So I think come Sunday he'll be pretty much prepared for Celtic to cross balls into the box. But I think on the flip side of that, you're probably defending close to your goal, because you don't really want to leave the space for Sinclair if he's fit, Dembele, Forrest to run into, because I think then they can punish you, because with Considine at left back, he is a centre half, and Logan, for all he's good going forward, he's not really the best defensively, but I think Derek he'll definitely start from the back and build his team forward rather than starting where I think Brendan will start from the front and work back.
You touched on there earlier, Kris, about Sinclair, if he was out, it would be a game changer. Lee Griffiths, of course, has been toiling with a lot of injuries this season. If he was fit, do you think this is the kind of moment for him now to maybe stamp his authority on a League Cup final, given that he played in the 5-1 defeat against Hearts?
I think if he's fit, he'll feature, but I don't think he'll be in the starting lineup. I think he'll stick. Brendan Rodgers sticks pretty much with the same team plan. Dembele is his man up top, but it's a great option for them to have him available on the bench if he's there, if he's ready for it. I mean, it's another big boost for Aberdeen if Sinclair's out and Griffiths is out as well.
Well, again, that might change. Does he change information again off the back of that, and does he try and get Lee Griffiths in the starting lineup if Scott Sinclair doesn't? These are all decisions that Brendan will face in the build up to Sunday. But as a manager, it's not really it's not a bad problem to have somebody who scored 40 goals last season. But it'll be interesting to see how fit he is as well, because he's missed the last couple of games, and he's even the hamstring. I think it was a hamstring at the beginning of the season as well. So there must be a problem there somewhere. But I agree with Rob. I don't think Brendan's one for changing his teams. He'll stick to. He will definitely have his three attackers on the field and look to go and win the game from attacking football. I mean, he's always done that from Swansea all the way through, even at Liverpool. He's not going to change now. He thinks that's his way about it, but it'll be interesting to see how the two of them come head to head.
So just finally, who are you predicting to win the Cup on Sunday?
It's going to be half and half in terms of supporters. It's going to be a great atmosphere, 20,000 Aberdeen fans. I just have a little feeling that it might be their day.
Okay, Kris?
I'm going to have to disagree with Rob. I think Celtic are head and shoulders above everybody in Scottish football right now, and I fully expect them to take the first silverware of the season.
Well, thanks very much, Kris and Rob. That's all we have time for today. Thanks for watching the UWS Sports Show. We'll leave you with all the goals from the previous two games between Aberdeen and Celtic this season. Goodbye.